Hello everybody and welcome back to another Vada's Venture. Alright everybody, so I'm sitting here editing again, and we need this week's joke. Why didn't the scarecrow eat his dinner? So today, we're going to tackle the starter solenoid and just try and get this thing started with the blades running. So, I'm going to get this off and see if we can go get parts. So the starter solenoid is actually on the other side here. This is a bolt, this is the other side of it. That's why I keep pointing here. Alright guys, so we got the new part, so now we're just going to put it back together and see if that solves our problem. Let's try this again. Alright everybody, so I had to go watch a YouTube video because I got a little stumped on why this wouldn't start. It did start for a little bit, shut itself back off, then it won't start again. So the YouTube video I watched, they took this, it just screws into the bottom of the bulb, kind of as I know on mine it's just a bolt and it comes out, but this one has this, and then there's two screws, but this, when it's plugged in and the key is on, like as soon as you turn the key from the off position to any position other than off, this comes down. So as soon as there's electricity to this, a magnet pulls this down and fuel is able to flow. Now, when I took it out, well, the video said these usually get gummed up, so you know they, to stick, and sure enough, yeah, when I took this out, it was stuck, so I had to go get a can of carb cleaner. Sprayed it out a little bit, and it moves on its own. It moves freely now. But this bowl is supposed to fill up. When I spray carb cleaner in here, it should be going straight through the bowl and coming out the bottom of the bowl. But that's not coming out of the bottom of the bowl. So I'm thinking I might have to take this carburetor off and clean it. So I'm going to try and take it off and see what happens. Alright guys, I've taken this thing apart twice. Cleaned it out first time, put it back together, still didn't work. I was like, okay, maybe there's a hole in the float, because inside of here there's a float, and when it gets to a certain height, it closes a needle and stops letting fuel in. Once the engine takes enough of it and it falls, the needle falls and lets fuel in. Well, someone else has been in here, or maybe just due to age, the needle on the end has a rubber tip, and rubber and fuel don't mix. So it may just be time for a rebuild kit, but right now, all I did was bite the end off the tip, and it does work, because with this out, I took the line crimper off this and fuel came out the bottom. I just started up, it ran, it was running for a second. I turned it back off because, you know, air filter, everything's not on here. So I'm gonna try and put it back together and see if it'll work. Fingers crossed, but it did start up and run on its own. All right, guys, put it back together. That's my battery. It started on my battery earlier, so I put their battery back in it. Fingers crossed I have the hood over there because, you know, it's easier to work on it without the hood on, but brake is set. Choke. Neutral. Fingers crossed. Alright, putting my battery back in it. Alright, my battery's in it. Let's try this again. Alright guys, so that's going to be the end of this week's video. So why didn't the Scarecrow eat his dinner? Because he was already stuffed. Alright, so I got the mower running, got the blades going on top of it, everything was working fine. The only problem is I had to tear apart the carburetor to get it working. So that's going to need a rebuild kit because I figured the needle inside and then all the gaskets are going to need replaced. So carb needs a rebuild kit. Need a spark plug because I used the one off my lawnmower. Once I charge the battery, that'll be fine, but I also use the one off my lawnmower. Deck belt needs one of those. I used the old one off my lawnmower because I still had that one laying around. And I also had something else. Oh, I need to lube the deck. When I had Jamie on the lawnmower engaging and disengaging the deck to figure out what was going on with it, why it wasn't engaging, and the whole reason I switched to my old deck belt, the belt stretched too far. So when you engaged the deck, it would engage fine, but it wouldn't disengage. So there wasn't enough tension to pull the pulley back, so that's going to have to be lubed. Once all that's done, it'll run. It's just a hefty price tag for all the parts and everything needed to do it. So we'll see what the customer wants to do and see whether or not that lawnmower will be in a video again. I want to thank y'all for joining us on another Valdez Venture. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all next week. And I hope y'all have a blessed day. This energy's inside us like electricity.